Eight tubers, Redneck Brian here. Okay, I just was on eBay, and I remember like a few years ago you could buy short blocks for these. But then I was thinking, it's not going to cost me that much to get the bolts removed. I hope if they have to, they can probably helicoil them. So I might as well get my lawnmower guy to do everything on it. The only thing is I gotta get it there. That's the only pain in the butt part. Probably be easier to pull the engine, but I don't know yet. I'll see what they say. If they have to pull the engine to do it, I'll pull the engine out myself to save on labor, and I'll bring the engine there to get it done. I cannot find my easy out, and so I'm currently stuck right now on this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the Honda out and get it running. It will start. I know that for a fact. But it has two flat front tires. Hopefully they're not off the beads. They shouldn't be. So I'm not going to put this in the Honda's place. I'm just going to stick this over probably by that fence over there, or even along the back fence right there. Just until I can get it in there and get the head gaskets done on it, get the heads fixed. So I have a line on the rear end, but I'm not going to replace the rear end. What I'm going to do is just have one sitting around, because if I have one sitting around, this one's not going to break. So yeah, so I'm stuck right now. I had a feeling this was going to happen, but I thought the front bolts right at the exhaust were going to break off, not the back bolts on this particular cylinder. And this one here, I kind of knew that bolt was going to break off. That one was the rusty one, so I had a feeling it was going to break off anyways. So I'm debating on draining the fuel out of this. I could leave it, but if I'm going to pull the engine, it's going to have to be drained. See, to me, there's a head gasket. I didn't even feel like there was a head gasket on this. This one here is so badly fused. And this wasn't the cylinder that was leaking. This only had 90 pounds of pressure though. So she's not down and out yet. The frame of the tractor is obviously still good. The engine, I hope, can be fixed unless they have another one sitting there and they're willing to sell it to me for cheap. And I mean cheap. I don't really want to go back to a single cylinder. I like this engine. Like I said, I like the sound of these engines. But there's still a shitload of good parts on this engine. Carburetor has a brand new coil on it. The coil is just replaced, as you guys know. What else did I replace then? I did the coil, I did the air filter, I did I forget what other parts I did whenever the coil went. Oh, I did the carb kit. The carb's perfectly fine on this. There's a lot of money in parts in this engine, so if I have to part with this engine, I will. It'll be sad to part with this engine. Hoping my lawnmower guy might even just have a short block, a good short block that I can buy off of him instead. Then I'll even sell him this engine here for parts if he wants it. Like, I mean cheap, like $200 cheap. Even if it's just a block, an opposed twin 18 horsepower block, even an 18.5, I think the parts will still interchange. So, because basically the block is the problem. My block is the problem on this. Everything else around the block is fine. Flywheel's fine. The coil, like I said, the stator's fine. Heck, a brand new voltage regulator on here. The muffler's fine. The whole intake is okay. Like, I had another one of these engines a few years ago. It had been dropped on delivery. When they delivered it, it was pretty banged up, but the block was still good. I wish I still had that block kicking around, but FedEx took it back. So, and I did not receive anything out of that deal at all. So, yeah, that deal sucked for me, big time. But then I found a better engine for the John Deere, and that's a long story. So yeah, she's down and out for now, but she won't be down and out for much longer, I hope. So I'll most likely just bag the engine, put a bag over the engine, and stick the heads on top of the engine. Leave the battery in it. The Honda has a battery. I just need something so I can haul around that trailer so I can get that worked on. I'm just hoping this won't cost me too much to get these head bolts out. I can only really spend maximum $200 to get these bolts out. Like, that's labor and that's buying the new bolts. So hopefully that he gives me a bit of a deal, or unless he can sell me another engine for $200. So, and I'll give him this one for parts if it's a running engine, because he'd be making money off this engine, like, for the parts I already discussed. So yeah, the Honda is going to be pulled out. I'll do another video getting that pulled out, and I'll talk to everyone later. So got to move this now, which sucks. Got to push it because I can't get the Honda through without this being moved, and there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be moved to even get that Honda out, and hopefully it starts. So talk to everyone later. Bye for now.